The Theory of Collective Selection by Herbert Blumer. Herbert Blumer, a well-known sociologist, offered the theory of collective selection to explain how popular trends, especially in fashion and culture, come to be. According to Blumer, trends are not simply the result of a few powerful designers or marketers telling people what to like. Instead, they emerge from a shared process where society collectively decides what is in or out. This process relies on both individual choices and a collective mindset that influences which trends become widely accepted, and which fade away. To understand collective selection, let's break down how Blumer viewed trends, society, and how individual preferences mix with group decisions. Blumer's theory starts with the idea that we, as humans, do not just passively adopt trends handed down by designers or cultural authorities. Instead, we play an active role in shaping what becomes popular. For instance, if you look at fashion, it is not just the work of designers that drives what people wear. Instead, people choose clothes based on what they see, their sense of style, and what they think looks good. When enough people start choosing similar things, a trend emerges. So, the choices of many individuals, not just a few, shape these trends. But what makes people choose one style over another? According to Blumer, it is not just personal taste or individual decision-making. It is also how we interact with others. Imagine you see a new jacket style. If you start noticing that your friends, colleagues, or favorite celebrities are wearing similar jackets, you may feel drawn to this style. This is because our choices are often influenced by the people around us. We look to others to see what they are doing, and in turn, others look at us, creating a feedback loop. This loop helps build momentum around a style, eventually turning it into a trend. Blumer called this process collective selection because it reflects the way people, as a group, make decisions. But he also believed it was different from mere imitation. He argued that people are not just copying one another without thought. Instead, individuals select trends because they believe these trends express something important or appealing, whether it is beauty, status, or simply belonging to a group. So, when enough people make similar choices, it becomes more than just individual preference. It becomes a social trend, collectively shaped by the group. Blumer's theory is particularly powerful because it highlights that fashion and culture are not controlled by a few individuals at the top, even though they may have significant influence. Rather, the collective actions and choices of people in society determine what is considered fashionable or trendy. When people adopt certain styles, they do so as part of a community that agrees on what is desirable. This collective agreement forms the backbone of trends. As a result, no one person or company can create a trend without the buy-in from society. One example of collective selection at work can be seen in the rise of streetwear. Streetwear started as a niche style, popular mainly in certain urban areas. Over time, it became widely popular and has even influenced high fashion. This rise was not solely because high-end designers suddenly decided streetwear was in. It was because people across different communities began embracing it. Their collective preference for the style pushed it into the mainstream, and eventually, it was recognized and adopted by the fashion industry. Blumer also explained that collective selection is not limited to fashion, it can be seen in other areas of culture as well. For example, consider how music genres rise and fall in popularity. A genre like rock, hip-hop, or electronic music may start small, but as more people become interested, it becomes popular and eventually mainstream. Again, this shift happens through collective selection. Individuals adopt the music because it resonates with them, and as more people do so, it creates a movement. Once that movement gains enough traction, it becomes a dominant trend. This process can also be applied to ideas and social values. When we look at changes in social attitudes, such as shifting views on marriage, gender roles, or environmental responsibility, we see the same dynamic. While these shifts may be initiated by influential people or groups, they only become mainstream when society as a whole begins to adopt them. Blumer's collective selection theory helps explain why some ideas or beliefs gain widespread acceptance while others fade into obscurity. Blumer's approach contrasts with the earlier view that trends and culture are imposed by those in power, such as big companies or influential designers. He believed that while these groups have influence, they cannot create trends without the involvement of the public. For example, fashion brands release collections every season, but only certain styles catch on with the public. It is not because the brand has dictated these trends, but because society has collectively chosen to embrace certain styles over others. Another aspect of Blumer's theory is that trends do not last forever. The nature of collective selection means that what is popular today may not be popular tomorrow. People continuously make new choices, influenced by what they see, hear, and experience. This constant cycle of selection and rejection leads to the birth of new trends and the fading of old ones. This is why fashion, music, and cultural norms are always changing. Collective selection is an ongoing process that keeps culture dynamic and constantly evolving. In a world where social media plays a huge role, Blumer's theory is even more relevant today. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter allow trends to spread quickly. People can see what others are doing, wearing, or discussing in real time, and this influences their choices. When a certain look, song, or idea gains popularity on social media, it is not just because an influencer promoted it, but because people collectively decide it is worth following. This shared decision creates the trend, and collective selection plays out on a massive, almost instantaneous scale. Blumer's theory of collective selection encourages us to think about our role in shaping culture. Whether we realize it or not, the choices we make, what we wear, listen to, or talk about, contribute to the trends and norms of society. Each individual's decision may seem small, but collectively, these decisions drive cultural shifts. Blumer shows us that we are not just consumers of culture but creators of it. By understanding this, we can become more aware of how trends form and perhaps make more thoughtful choices about what we support and why. In conclusion, Herbert Blumer's theory of collective selection offers a powerful insight into how culture is shaped. It tells us that trends do not emerge from the top down but from the collective choices of individuals in society. Through our interactions and choices, we help shape what is considered popular or valuable. While influencers, designers, and companies play a role, they do not have absolute control. Instead, trends emerge from a collective agreement, a shared decision about what is meaningful. Blumer's theory reminds us that we are not just spectators but active participants in creating culture. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this explanation helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel for more content on sociology, philosophy, and social theory. Your support helps us bring you more insightful content.